Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Chess Puzzles. This is Shashank. So it's been a long time. I haven't posted anything. So sorry for that. So I hope you all are doing good. But definitely today you will enjoy the video which I'm going to show you. Today I'm not showing you any puzzles and I'm not showing you any chess concepts, chess theories. So you will be definitely excited. So what is coming up next? So I will be showing you a game. Okay, a game played between two very all-time legends of chess. So I'm sure you all might have heard their names and you all might have seen their games. So these are all the games which I will be posting from now onwards. Will be all played between all the legends of chess. So today the game is between Bobby Fischer and Mikhail Tal. Okay, so both are very amazing players. So this was the game played in 1959 in the candidates tournament. Of course, Mikhail Tal won here. So this is one of the four games where Fischer lost to Tal. Okay. People who don't know what is candidates tournament is played just to make a person qualify to play for a world champion. Okay, so there will be a world champion always who is winning. So somebody should play against him. So that is decided by this candidates tournament. So there are a lot of factors to consider who will play in the candidates. Like one would be the defending champion, that is the person who lost in the previous world championship, and the other would be the highest rated player. So like that, many qualifications are there. So without wasting much time, we can see. But before that, please like this video, please subscribe to my channel. So I will be posting very interesting videos. So going forward, I will again post very amazing games from legends like Carlsen, Kasparov, Vishy Anand, Hikaru Nakamura, all those legends. So I think I have posted previously one of the games that was also a Fischer. I think Fischer and you. So that game also, if you have not seen, please watch it. It's a very amazing game. So let's start with this game. Okay. So here Fischer is playing white and Tal is black. Fischer starts with e4. Tal goes for Sicilian. So knight f3 d6 d4 c takes knight takes. So this is a Sicilian opening. So Tal goes for Najdorf variation. So a6 is Sicilian Najdorf variation. So now Fischer plays bishop c4 and e6. This is a very nice variation for black. Okay, so a6 followed by e6. This is one of the most commonly played openings. Now Fischer goes for bishop b3 because he was foreseeing the b5 by Tal. So Tal anyways plays b5 because so a6 followed by b5 is very good for black here, because white always plans for queen side castling in Sicilian. So Fischer goes for f4. So as I already told, f4 is not good when you're planning for king side castling, because that f2 square will become weak. But as I told, that in Sicilian, white always most of the times it aims for queen side castling. So playing f4 is not a problem here. And so this is a lot of games have been played in this variation b4. So the idea here is to get rid of this knight so that black can capture the e4 pawn, right? So the e4 pawn is defended by this knight. So Fischer plays knight a4, then Tal captures the pawn, e4 pawn, and Fischer castles g6. So this is a bad move by, according to the engine, because I don't know what was Tal's plan here, but when you play e6, you shouldn't play g6. So that is one of the concepts which you should always see in chess. But anyway, it depends on position. But maybe Tal had different plans here. So g6, instead he could have gone for bishop b7. Bishop b7 was a very good move. So, but okay, anyway, g6 he played. Then Fischer went for f5. Now Tal realized that playing g6 was a mistake because his king is at the center, and playing bishop g7 now is bad. Okay, so he has to take g takes f5. So please note that here e takes f5 is very bad. Why? Because so if e takes f5, so white can play bishop d5, right? I can show you. Okay, if black plays e takes f5, bishop d5, so attacking the rook, black has to defend this rook. So now he can play anyway, he can do a lot of things. He can capture this, or maybe he can capture this is a very beautiful move. Knight takes f4. Okay, so why it is a beautiful move? Because let black take it with pawn or bishop. Suppose g takes f5, then white is coming with d4, attacking both the rooks, right? So that's why g takes f5 is a good move. After this one, f5. Okay, now still Fischer went for knight takes f5. So here you might have known, like, Fischer is in very attacking mode, so he is playing in Tal style actually. So but it doesn't work because Tal is not defending in Fischer style. So here many of you might think, why did Fischer sack the knight? Okay, because if black takes e takes f5, then I think queen d5 is coming, right? This is a very good move. So because there is a mate on f7 as well as it is attacking the a8 knight. So this Tal saw this, so he did not capture knight on f5. Okay, so he instead went rook g8. Okay, rook g8 is very defensive. Anyway, still bishop b7 would have been played. Maybe he foresaw the move, the queen d4 move. So maybe he planned for rook g8. Also, later he's planning for bishop b7 and targeting the j2 pawn. Maybe that was his plan. But after rook g8, Fischer again played bishop b5. This is also an amazing move. Anyway, this capturing on d5 would not work because once you capture the d5 again, this is coming. So if rook comes, then this is going. So white won a free pawn. Anyway, white is getting a free pawn. That's fine. But after bishop d4, bishop d5 capturing is not a good move. So black played rook a7. So now bishop captured knight, and now this guy Tal captured the knight. He takes f5. So bishop takes f5. So now what Tal thought is he will just defend the e file. There are chances of getting check from the rook or queen, right? So Tal, like, he anticipated the move and he defended the e file. So now Fischer thought that this bishop, although it is active, but it is not doing anything here. So he thought of this bishop b7 might come, and there is a g2 weakness. So he thought of exchanging the bishop. So he went for bishop c8, queen c8. So then he played bishop f4. Okay, so to attack the d6 pawn, which is good. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, so if you see here, d6 pawn is anyway hanging, but you cannot take with queen, because suppose if you take it with queen, okay, there will always be rook takes g2, king takes g2, rook e2 check, and attacking the queen. So that is the reason Fischer did not take the d6 pawn even though it is hanging. So he played bishop f4. Okay, now anyway, bishop f4 is met with queen c6. Okay, so now knight on a4 is hanging, but what Fischer thought is, okay, let knight on a4 hang. I can take the bishop on b8. Suppose then he went for queen f3, hoping that Tal will exchange the queen. But this is where Fischer blundered. he lost a piece here, because although he's getting the b8 bishop back, suppose if you see here, queen takes on a4, bishop takes d6, okay, queen back to c6, okay. Now he can take the bishop, knight on b8. So he thought that he is winning the piece back, but there is always a check on b6, okay. So this b6 check, king h1, then he took the, this is where Fischer lost a piece, okay. So he miscalculated this, but anyway, still he is a pawn up for pieces. Anyway, he will be another pawn up, he can get another pawn. So he played queen c6 check, so rook d7. So now Tal wanted to launch his bishop now. So again he played rook a1 check, then bishop. Now finally Tal launched his bishop on e7. So Fischer played little tactical game here. So he took on f7. Anyway, that f7 pawn was hanging. So king takes f7. He could have directly taken on d7, but he gave a check before, making sure that king is on f8. King is very passive there. So once king moves to f8, he's captured the rook. So now again bishop is hanging. So now Tal thought that this is the right time to exchange, as he is a piece up. So winning is very easy now. So he thought of exchanging. He went queen d6. But Fischer is now not ready to exchange, because he has to go for draw now. So anyway, he is not winning here with a piece down. So he went for queen b7. And now good move by Tal here, rook g6, because in future if there is any check coming from front to the king, so he is making sure that rook is protecting the king in front, so that he can go king g7 now, right? So Tal is playing c3 now. I mean, he is hoping for exchange. So just one thing you can observe, when you are a bishop up or a piece up, so you should try to there are two things to consider. In some of the positions you should try to exchange as much as possible, because anyway you are a piece up, in the end game you will win. And some of the cases you should not try to exchange, because once pawns are exchanged, especially for bishop, it is difficult to stop. Suppose for example he has g and h connected pawns here, so somehow if Fischer develops these and somehow he cancels, I mean exchanges queen and rook, then the bishop stopping these two connected pawns would be difficult in the end game. So thinking that, Tal did not go for this thing, so he went for a5. Okay, now Fischer again played queen c8 check, then king g7. Now queen c4 was an interesting move. Actually he should have captured this pawn, but he went for queen. Maybe the reason, like there are two reasons. One is to avoid this queen d5, so that there is a threat on g2. Another thing is he is planning for queen e4. Okay, queen e4 to attack the e7 bishop. So maybe Tal saw that he is attacking the e4 e7 bishop from e4, so he went bishop d8. So now Fischer thought that since he moved to d8, so he is planning to come to c7 and attacking this, planning for this h2 mate. So what he did is he exchanged the pawns. So now he played a very bad move. I don't know, his plan was to go to queen e4. He should have stick to that plan, because now he played g3, which was a very bad move, because now it's difficult for him to draw. This white is clearly losing now. Till now he had chances of somehow drawing. Of course it was a very difficult, but still he had chances. But after playing g3, it's difficult, because Tal will happily exchange queens by playing queen c6 check. Okay, so he should have stick to that plan, queen e4. Even though bishop c7 is coming, he could have gone for queen e7. If king g8, then there were some perpetual chances. Okay, so anyway, now he played g3, so Tal happily is ready for exchange. So Fisher has no other option than to exchange, but still Fisher tried to avoid the exchange by playing rook e4. But Tal thought this is the right moment to exchange, so black is clearly winning here. So he went for exchange. Rook takes c4. Then after rook b6, now it's clear win for black. Okay, so but still white fought till the end. Fisher, he never gives up so easily. So now it's all about bringing king to center. So king f6, king f3, king e5, king e3. Now since white moved on black square, so black has an option to give check. So he went to e2, king a2, king d5, king d3. So bishop f6. So he wanted to maintain this diagonal because his plan is to promote this b pawn. Anyway, somehow he can capture these two pawns, and so he is making ready to control this b2 square. Now rook c2 was very passive again. Still he had a last hopes of drawing if he had played something like rook g4 or something, but he went very passive to defend this b2 pawn. Bishop e5. Now you can see slowly how Tal is slowly gradually taking his bishop to center, and so now bishop e5 has a purpose, hoping that white will not play h4. So now rook e2, rook f6. He went back to rook c2 because this is the only file where he can go and attack from behind. So no other files he can go. So he came back to c2. So he gave check, rook f3 check, king e2. So again he went back to rook. So why he played rook f7 here is he had a plan of bishop d4. Okay, so if he plays bishop d4, then there is a chance of rook c7 check. Okay, now anyway bishop is defending the square, but once it goes to d4, rook c7 check would be coming attacking this h7 pawn. So that's the reason he went to f7 now. So now king d3, now bishop d4. Slowly he's bringing the bishop to the center. Now he played a3, hoping that Tal will exchange, but Tal had some other plans, so he played b3. Okay, so now keeping the rook on this file does not make any sense. So he went, at least he thought that he will attack from back and somehow capture this b pawn. So he went back to c8, but Tal captured this b2 pawn. Now rook d8 check, king c6, rook b8, attacking this pawn, but this can be defended by rook f3 check, rook c3 check, b4. Now rook c7, rook b5. Now bishop a1. So now he is hoping that he will promote the pawn. So bishop a1 is a very good move, but Fisher did not see that black can play b2. So he thought that if black plays b2, king can capture this rook, right? So that's the reason black cannot play b2, he thought, and he pushed a4 pawn. But you can see black can easily play b2. If suppose king captures this rook, so then there is a queen promotion with discovered check, so that rook cannot capture this queen. So this is the reason black played b2, and now Fisher resigned. So this was the amazing game. So after analyzing, both the players analyzed this, and both the players found out there were a lot of wrong moves they did. Of course, at that time there were no engines. They manually analyzed on the board, and of course Fisher did a lot of risky moves, and he lost. Maybe that is the reason he lost. So the main game changing point was, as I told you, like this is fine, bishop, this is fine. I think, yeah, this queen f3, playing queen f3 was maybe the blunder. Of course he was thinking somehow to attack this f7. So what he was thinking was, after queen f3, queen takes a4, then bishop d6, right? So even though if black defend this by b7, he will capture this, and if takes, then he was hoping for f7 and take this rook. So this was his plan maybe, but this didn't work because anyway Tal did not go for that variation. And even initially Tal also played very defensively by moving rook g8 and some of other moves like g6. Okay, so later Tal himself told that at some point of time he was losing actually. So but Fischer could not convert that. In middle game he did a lot of blunder. So anyway, all in all, it was a very good game. I hope you like this. So I will come up with similar games further with played by different grandmasters. Maybe I will come up with any Carlsen match. Maybe Carlsen against Caruana or Vichy or something like that. Recent players. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. Thank you. Thank you very much.